Morning, Bob. How are we doing today? Hey, Rhonda. Hey, girls. How are you doing? Another wonderful day in Texas. Yeah, I was reading about that, Rhonda. I guess I'm supposed to say, guess what? Uh, I guess I should have seen that one coming. I think we used that one when I was a kid, too. Guess what? Chicken butt. But I guess we gotta get a joke every once in a while. Last time, what was it? Want to hear a dirty joke? How about a white dog falling in the dirt or falling in the mud? I remember that one too. All right, well, it's good to know that Jessica is such a positive influence. Oh, it's supposed to be a horse? I thought it was a dog. But I guess it works with a horse too, doesn't it? A horse, of course. Yeah, I think I can see you actually. Yeah, did they get the joke yet? That's right. I'm wearing a fart joke t-shirt. What are you going to do about it? Got that at the Johnson Space Center. Yeah, I missed you guys too last week. But I was actually at the Johnson Space Center yet last week when that happened. All right, so Logan's the gassy one, huh? The secondary gas giant. Yeah, I figured that was what the message was. A lot of times, I understand the fact that people sometimes are all thumbs when they're typing and miss something, and you just get to the point where you see enough of it and you say, "Oh well, I know what they meant to say." Worked all day last week. I've actually been off for the most part for the past 2 weeks. That was why I had the time to go and do the Dazed and Confused and Johnson Space Center one. I actually planned on not taking 4 or 5 days to do, but I actually got it done in two. I left one morning, did the entire Dazed and Confused vlog that day, and made it to almost to Houston that night. Next morning, I went to the Johnson Space Center last Sunday and spent the day there, and then drove home. Got home that night. So I don't know. I got to do a little better in planning, but I guess it's better to have spare time at the end of your schedule than run out of time. Yeah, I got it at the Johnson Space Center. Is that what affects butt size? I didn't know that. I've never done tamales. Which one did you like, the space one or the Dazed and Confused one? I think the Dazed and Confused one is probably on track to be probably another one of my more popular ones. It's already has more views than most videos do at this point in since uploading. Yeah, the space one was fun. That was so cool to see all that stuff. And it was a bummer. I should have brought another SD card with me because I ran out of space in the middle of the Saturn V exhibit. But we got most of it. Yeah, I guess they flew it around a bit before, before they retired and decommissioned them. I know one of them flew over Disneyland. I wasn't there that day, but I saw a lot of video of it. Everybody had a cell phone, was waiting for that. Flew over Lake Ontario. Okay. We'll let it slide, Rhonda. See, that's the advantage I have hosting the live stream. I don't have to type anything. I just get to talk. I just got to worry about tripping over my tongue. Oh yeah, looking forward to the eclipse. Definitely. We're a couple weeks out now. I hope the weather cooperates. If it happens on a day like today, it's going to be a total failure because it's all cloudy and overcast. That'll be a drag. Yeah, they're closing some schools here. I even heard them say that they were going to shut down production for a couple hours at work so people can go observe the eclipse. That sounds, I don't know. I don't necessarily get that, but if it's important enough to that you want to see it, you should take the day off. Yeah, I've seen some of the glasses around too. Actually, I saw them mostly before the last eclipse. Yeah, they're just the cheap paper ones with the mylar lenses, but everybody's going eclipse crazy here. Every other posting on my Facebook is something about the eclipse. All these followers here. I've been waiting for the eclipse for 4 years. I bought my telescope back then. I paid a little bit more than $3 for it too, Rhonda. Oh, they're all over the place, Tracy. You can get them online. Just go to Amazon, type eclipse glasses. You'll find them. You can get them by the hundreds if you want. Got the girls a set. Good morning, Suzanne. Yeah, I hope. Well, I don't know. Are you in the? I don't think you're in the path of totality, are you? It's going to be a partial eclipse, but I think it'll be a significant eclipse. It just won't be a total like it will be here. No, it's on a Monday, and I'm naturally off that day. So, uh, I started thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna have to take that day off of work. Well, it just turned out it was one of my off days anyway, so it's happening on the perfect time. Now, like I said, we just gotta figure out what the weather's gonna do. I'm serious enough about it though that if I know where that the weather's gonna be bad, I may drive to get to a place where I can see it better. Yeah, well, I sort of mentioned that a little bit in the video, John. My original plan was to hit the Johnson Space Center first and then hit Dazed and Confused on the way back. But that would have, the original plan at least, would have got me there on a Monday. And I didn't think I would be able to wander around an elementary school or a junior high on a school day. So I ultimately made the decision to hit the Dazed and Confused video first and go on a Saturday. And I knew that there weren't any fences around the school, so I basically just was able to walk around the campus, both campuses, just all by myself. So that was pretty cool. A lot of the schools in California, though, they have a fence all the way around you. You can't even get on campus. But I guess not so much in Texas, at least not in these schools. And maybe it's because I don't know. Temple's a pretty decent sized, or Austin's a pretty decent sized city. So I'm going to try and do a live stream of the eclipse, Rhonda. Thank you, Breck. I'm glad you like that. Those are both fun vlogs to do. Yeah, a lot of schools in a lot of areas are that way. Like I said, I had kind of looked up the area and knew kind of where I was going on everything. So I knew, what I was looking for and kind of the layout. And so, I was able to find, for instance, where on campus some of that stuff was done and, go right to that location. And I knew ahead of time that both of those schools just had no fences around them. So, like I said, it made sense to go on a Saturday because then there was nobody there, less likely to arise any suspicion that way. Yeah, that was sort of the problem with my clock too. In fact, it's funny because I mean you'll hear the clock that I showed in the last video chiming. It's still working. It's working great. I'm still working to dial in the time a little bit, but actually, I kind of set the times a little staggered so you can hear all of them going off. Because it turns out, actually, when I got home and got my great grandmother's clock going, um, I decided to give the cuckoo clock that I got from my dad another shake. And I turned it on, and it's been running perfect now for almost a week now. So that's really, really cool. I don't know. Last time I ran it, the problem I ran into is that when the cuckoo went off, it didn't just go, if it was like 5 o'clock, didn't just cuckoo 5 times. It cuckooed over and over and over and over and over again until the weight hit the ground. So there was some sort of mechanical problem in there that I don't know got out of sync and it wasn't set properly. And I don't know, turning it back on, I seem to get it to undo whatever the problem is, and it's been working perfectly all week now. But I gotta dial that one in a little bit too. I saw that map too, California East. Yeah, I know, scary. That was I didn't really like going to Austin for that reason. And being in Houston wasn't a lot of fun either. The Space Center was great, but the fact that I had to deal with the traffic getting out of there. I mean, when I was on my way home, it was like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and going through Houston, it took me an hour to get through town. That's just one of the millions of things I love about where I am now. There's rarely any traffic. In fact, the only time I saw traffic in the area was when they were doing the repair work on I-35, and they were, adjusting the lanes and stuff like that and closing lanes. But ever since they opened that up, I haven't seen traffic in town. It just doesn't happen. I'm hoping to live stream the eclipse, Suzanne, but I will do something for the channel. Yeah, well, that thing is really delicate, so I didn't really want to shake it, but maybe just turning on or turning off and turning on the chimes reset everything or something. I don't know. It might have been something. A lot of times these clocks have kind of a self-correcting mechanism. So something gets out of sync, it may just mess up for a little while, and then if you let it run for a while, it kind of works its way out of its problem, and that may be all that happened. That's kind of funny. Well, it kind of was the same thing with my grandfather clock. When I got the grandfather clock home, the chimes weren't running at all. I couldn't get them to go. And when I took the clock out of the enclosure and put it in that base that I built, apparently I jostled it enough, and it turns out that one of the numbers had fallen into the mechanism. And in the process of jostling it, it worked its way out. Um, and that clock has worked perfect ever since. Sometimes these things are just dumb luck. Oh, you're gonna love Meow Wolf. I went there. Well, I mean, you saw, I went. I did there. I don't know, last summer, so that one time, um, and it was a blast. It's a very surreal thing. Expect to spend a couple hours there, and in the same mall, there's like an aquarium, I guess, and it wasn't open when I was there. Maybe it's open now. You might want to check that out. That looked like that was going to be pretty cool too. If I found my way back into Grapevine, I might hit that place again. Well, I think with the cuckoo clocks, you just have to buy a quality one. The one that I have, that's the one that was on the thumbnail of this, and it's very, very detailed. And my dad spent a serious chunk of cash for that. He bought it in Germany, had it shipped home, and I'm very, very glad right now it's working. Doing Easter this weekend. All right. Happy Easter. Yeah, the Grapevine Mall is a big place. I know. I remember because I had an appointment to go see Meow Wolf at a certain time, and I always, when I'm going, especially when I'm driving in some place where there's a possibility of traffic, I always leave a little bit of wiggle room in case I need it. And basically, it was a 2 hour drive to Grapevine, and I allowed like 3 hours, so I got there early and actually took a lap around the mall before I went in, and it took me a while to make a complete loop. A Korean made clock. That's interesting. Exactly. I'm the same way, Rhonda. Yeah, let's drink some more water here. I'm sorry, vodka. That's the running joke, right? Oh, wait, no, it's guess what? Chicken butt, right? Hi, celebs. You're having another surgery? What do you think of that bite? Okay, that is though kind of funny. Does that mean you're not going to be able to talk for a while? No, I don't see Jordan a whole lot. When he comes into town, he's been here a couple of times, but it's been a couple of years. Truth is, I actually owe him a visit. I should go visit him at some point. Still want to do it. Oh man, Rhonda, how are you going to survive? Did you know sign? Okay. Are you as proficient at signing as you are at talking? Yeah. See, I'm exactly the opposite. I could do 2 weeks not talking on my while standing on my head. Let me get my water a little closer here so I can reach it. I don't know. That would depend on Jordan, whether he'd be comfortable with me doing that. But I would guess maybe if he didn't have a problem with it, that he probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But as long as I'm not giving any locations, but it would be fun to go and do like a home repair vlog over there or something like that. I do have an idea that I want to do. I want to talk to him about it that I think would be fun. Well, that doesn't sound like fun, doing surgery while you're awake. Yeah, that's something you don't want is your lead line shorting out. That can be bad on a pacemaker. Yeah, mine too, Rhonda. Mine too. It's usually when I've been drinking the real vodka, though. Closest thing I've ever done with LBJ was when I went to the LBJ library with Jordan, and I didn't vlog that, but he did. Jordan's a real big fan of presidential libraries, and so I think he wants to hit as many as he can. I know he's hit a few of them, and that was one. Since I was just in Austin, that was one of the times he was down here. I think we did the Daniel Johnson one down there also, and I did one while we were down there on like this antique toy collector guy. He had this big museum of like antique toys and stuff like that. He had like millions and millions of things in there. Well, it's good they were able to fix it. Yeah, we all hope you get better, Bill. But it sounds like you're on the mend. You're at least with us today. That's a good thing. And you were saying you were sleeping a lot lately, so maybe this will help a little. It's alive. Great line. All right, so we're at the bottom of the hour. So that was the grandfather clock. In about a minute, you'll hear great grandma's clock. That was the one I did the vlog about. And in about a minute after that, you should hear the cuckoo clock go off. But the main event will be happen at noon when they all go off and do their top of the hour thing. Yeah, that would be a little weird, Rhonda. I do think it's funny. I keep looking at my like Facebook and like artists that died decades ago have Facebook pages and they're posting. It's so weird getting seeing a post from Roy Orbison or John Lennon. Kurt Cobain, Chris Cornell. Lane Staley. Of course, I took control of one of my dad's old iPads the other day and sent an email from it. I got an email from my dad. That was kind of strange. I mean, I knew I'd done it, so. We have that cursed doll too, don't you? Okay, so that was great grandma's clock. Like I said, I intentionally staggered them a little bit so they weren't all going off at the same time. It's tied up in the closet. How awesome is that? And that was the cuckoo clock. I assume you heard all that. Like I said, the main event will be in about 30 minutes when it's noon, because then you'll hear all three of them do their thing. See, the cuckoo clock at the bottom of the hour just it just does one cuckoo, but when it gets to the top of the hour, there's like a little music box that goes off too. In fact, I don't know, maybe I'll move the camera up there and you can see it because there's all sorts of little animation. There's like a little water wheel that spins. There's these four little guys in lederhosen sitting at a table, and they got beer mugs, and so they're slamming the beer mugs on the table in sync to the music. And there's also a little thing at the top where little dancers dance around. I'll hopefully try and show you that. Black Dot, haven't seen you in a while. You've been in prison, all right. We always knew that that's how that would end up at some point. Yeah, I haven't seen Peg Tooth either, right. I guess people kind of, come in and come out. I mean, we got our new friend celebs here today. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Peg Tooth is in prison. All right. Was he in prison with you? That's a beautiful sunset there on the in the in Matt's video. They get some beautiful sunsets there. Hi, Susan. Yeah, Bite heard your name. You had to come down and say hi. He loves it when I scratch his jawbone. Don't ya? You got all the fur all over you. Jeez, what have you been doing? Sleeping in your own fur? Holy cow. You need a brush here. Yeah, look at all that. That's you. Celebs has a leg monitor on. All right, sweet. I always made it a point to want to hang out with a high class of people. Five-year stretch since the pandemic. Yikes. You're just allergic to everything, Rhonda. I guess it's a good thing you aren't allergic to YouTube. I mean, how would I handle these live streams without you here? No, no, it isn't the Branch Davidians. It was uh, it's I've vlogged there a couple times. It's the Homestead Heritage Group, and I kind of describe them as they're the Amish without the hang up on technology. In fact, it was funny. I was talking to the guy who repaired the clock, and he was talking about how he grew up in an Amish family, and so when he kind of left and came over and joined this group, he had to kind of get used to the technology again. In fact, it was kind of funny because when he wanted to, when it came time to check out for the clock, he said, "Well, I can take credit card, but there's like a 3% surcharge for that." And he says, "Do you have like what was it, Apple Pay or something like that?" Well, I'm an Android person. I don't have an uh, Apple phone, so I couldn't do that. And I said, "How about Venmo or PayPal?" And he says, "I've been thinking about Venmo. Maybe I'll set up a Venmo account." And I was sitting there walking him through how to set up a Venmo account. I'm the parole officer. All right, sweet. So that's why everybody keeps coming every week. I couldn't figure that out. Wasn't sure why everybody was here every week, but yeah, if it's a parole meeting, I guess that makes a lot of sense. There you go, Shawshank Waco Redemption. Funeral show, back you go. Yeah, I guess. I guess you're lucky they didn't round you all up last week, then, huh? No, it couldn't be an AA meeting with all the vodka I drink. I think they say the first step is admitting you have a problem. I don't have a problem. Have you been good prisoners? Well, you are you back in prison? Obviously, you have been. Yeah, I like the shirt too. I was when I was at the Johnson Space Center and saw that. I said, "That's the one I gotta." I'm getting to the point now where when I visit kind of fun things, what I want to do is get a refrigerator magnet. And so, last few times I visited places, that's what I've done. That's going to kind of be my way of remembering all the kind of fun places I go is by getting a refrigerator magnet. So I got a couple refrigerator magnets for Johnson Space Center. Add them to the collection. I didn't get this one at the Alien store with Jordan, but if you've seen me wear the one with the alien head, the green alien face, that one I got at. Well, I mean, I got a green. I got one of them. I got at Baker, California, when Jordan and I went to Vegas once, and then I also got one that I got at Roswell when Jordan and I went through Roswell, New Mexico, on the way to Texas here. Collect the stickers off of bananas, huh? Shoot for the stars, Rhonda. No, they didn't have a tour open to Mission Control this time. The only tour they had was over to what they called Rocket Park, which is where they had that Saturn V rocket. But that was amazing to look at. I'm still stunned how big that thing is. That thing's bigger than a football field. Yeah, yeah, and that's the Houston too. See, that was one of the points I was going to think. People might be thinking that they launch rockets from Houston, but they don't actually launch rockets from Houston because Houston's right in the middle of a city. And what happens if you have like a rocket explosion or something like that? You don't want to have rocket debris raining down on your city. So they do it from Cape Canaveral in Florida because what they'll do then is they'll shoot it out over the ocean. So if something goes wrong, you just got stuff coming into the ocean. But what happens is they launch from Cape Canaveral in Florida, and then once it's up in orbit, then they hand it off to Houston, and Houston is mission control. Well, I've been kind of happy with the fact that the hydrangea that I planted a couple years ago, it gets pummeled every year, both by the heat and by the cold, but it always comes back every year. So I think in that corner, in the back corner there that I built when I first moved in here and just had plants in there, I think I'm going to put a whole bunch of hydrangeas in there this year and let them do their thing. Because, like I said, I have two of them in there now that have been there for 2 years, and they keep getting pummeled in the winter, but they come back every spring. So, that's something I'm looking for. I get it. There's a lot of plants that don't do well in the extremes of temperature in Texas, but if they stay alive underground and can recover, then that means a lot. And so that's a lot of what I'm looking for right now is things that are going to do well, and bounce back over and over again. So that's what I'm thinking about probably for a part of the backyard. I don't know. I gotta redo the area in the front, and I gotta do the garden too. And the garden I'll probably do something with the garden this week or this weekend. This is my weekend now. Yeah, I'd love to go to the Smithsonian, Susan, someday. I think in this case, it was probably because it was a weekend. It probably just wasn't open that day. Because there were actually two tours that I was hoping to take that day, one to the Rocket Park, and then one of them was supposed to go to Mission Control. But when I got there, just wasn't open. So yeah, it might have just been that day. But I don't care. It was great seeing that shuttle and some of that other stuff that was in there. Going into that trade mock-up of Skylab, that thing was awesome. building a garden out of old pallets. I've seen people do that. Yeah, I like hydrangeas. They have some pretty flowers, and they grow really nice too. Actually, that is a good point, Rhonda. Pallets don't grow very well. You have to put seeds of some sort. Yeah, if I were to do a Smithsonian, that I know that thing is a such a massive place that it would have to be multiple vlogs. Flower power, woohoo! Yeah, that's right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Anything new or exciting at work? I got to have a one-on-one meeting with the big boss this past week, which was really cool. I've told you in the past that um, back when COVID was happening, our company was concerned about the supply chain issue, and so they stocked up on a bunch of supplies that we need for operations, and they put it in the warehouse in case we needed it. Well, it never got to the point where we needed it, and so that stuff a year ago was still there. And it was like $350,000 worth of stuff that was just out in the warehouse. And the problem is some of this stuff has a shelf life. And so somebody realized about a year ago that, hey, we had all this stuff that's in the warehouse that we're not using. And I I was told to look at it, see if there was anything our department could use. And I realized right off the bat we were going to need, there was way more stuff there than I could ever use, and we were going to have to get it down and get it on the ground so everyone else can do it. And so I basically just took that project and ran with it. And as of last week, of the $350,000 worth of stuff, I have now managed to use about $220,000 of it. And uh, I've been kind of giving regular reports to one of the guys that I interact with about the progress that I've been been making on this. And on Thursday, the big boss, so that's my boss's boss. He's the guy who's in charge of the whole facility. He wanted to have a meeting with me and just kind of discuss what happened and basically acknowledge what happened, how good that was, and thank me for my hard work. And that was really fun. Even my boss was impressed by that because I don't know if he's even ever had a one-on-one meeting with the big boss. So that was really cool. I mean, I know the guy because uh, the guy used to be my boss's boss, but about, I don't know, 8 or 10 months ago, he got a promotion. Now he's in charge of the whole thing. Well, he knew who I was then. In fact, it was funny. Uh, he knew who I was before I knew who he was. And, every once in a while he'd pass me in the hall and he'd say, "Hi, Breck." And I was like, "Hi." And I was like, "Okay, who is that guy?" And eventually at one point, it happened. And I just happened to be there with my boss's boss. And I said, "That guy keeps saying hi to me and knows who I am. He seems like he's pretty important. I should probably know who he is. Who is he?" And he says, "Yeah, that's my boss." And so it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I should definitely know who he is." So yeah, I mean, I've known him, and we've exchanged pleasantries in the hall, but he's in one end of the building and I'm in another. But it is cool to know that he's aware of what I've accomplished, and That's just it. It never hurts to have a positive image uh, from your boss. So I don't know. That was kind of cool. Haven't been able to catch any leprechauns, huh? Yeah, that would have been nice, Black Dot. But I got a nice regular bonus check this year, and I am not dissatisfied with the money I'm making right now. I'm in really good shape. So, it was nice to hear the feedback. In fact, I kept during the meeting, I kept comparing, the reaction I'm getting from this place to the reaction I would get for similar accomplishments at Disneyland. And there's no competition. And that's a bad thing to do, Rhonda. If if you're the big boss, you got to talk to the people. Yeah, I am so glad I got out of Disney. Every day I read something new about that place. That place is coming apart. They can't decide whether they want to be family entertainment, which is what their whole brand is built on, or if they want to just pander to, you know, the woke crowd. And I'm not going to say this, the place I work now is woke also, but you know what? At least at least they give you some respect. God, Bite is across the room over there, laying on the floor, and he's purring. I can hear him all the way over here. That's quite a motor you got there, buddy. Even with a dishwasher running in the background, I can still hear you. Make him get some exercise here. Just trying to lark it over him, hit him in the head with that one. I love orange juice. Yeah, well, it's here. Yeah, he doesn't know though that that telescope is gonna be pretty useful. It's gonna be isn't gonna be very useful on a solar eclipse. That thing is not designed for looking at the sun. That'd be like trying to use a magnifying glass to look at the sun. Yeah, it's not going to turn out good. I am going to try and do a live stream of it. The big thing is going to be whether the weather cooperates. The problem is having an eclipse in Waco in April is that April is not very consistent clear sky weather. But I don't know. It's on a Monday, and so if the weather is going to be bad, I may look for someplace where the weather is better, and we may drive there in order to see this. Although it's funny, I've been reading some lists, and some of the lists show that this area of Texas is maybe the most promising place to have a good view of it. So I don't know. If we get lucky, it'd be great. Nice clear day. No, I've never fixed that chip in the windshield. I suspect at some point the crack will run and then I'll have to do something about it. But it's on the passenger side, so I'm not planning on wearing anything special. Yeah, NASA may live stream it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of people live streaming this thing. You know, I'm just going to be one of many. The beauty of it here is it seems to be right in the middle of the day. So the sky is going to be right overhead, or the moon will be right overhead when it happens. Sun and the moon will be right overhead. So yeah, hopefully I mean I'll kind of figure out whether I'm going to go into the backyard or go into the front yard and do it. I may just do it on the driveway. I may do it in the backyard. It just depends on what's happening. Now, like I said, I'm hoping that it does actually that the weather does cooperate and we can actually see something. Fingers crossed. Hey Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Morning, Darth. How is everybody doing today? We're a couple of minutes away from noon here, so what I want to do is get the we're going to go mobile here around noon because I want to show you at least the cuckoo clock going off. Let's just see all the animation on that. Thank you, Darth. Yeah, I had fun doing those. No, I don't have a Himalayan rock salt. I do have some kind of natural salt that came in the form of kind of a pink rock, but it isn't what the kind of thing you're thinking of. Okay, so there's the grandfather clock. That's going to chime 12. Yeah, the Johnson Space Center, that was a lot of fun. But I had a kick doing the Dazed and Confused one too. Yeah, I've seen those big giant salt rocks that light up. Those are pretty common. Okay, I'm going to go mobile here so that we'll actually watch both of the clocks go off here. To show you great grandma's clock and the cuckoo clock. I intentionally set them up about a minute apart so they wouldn't be going off at the same time. So we'll start off with Grandma's clock, and that's going to hit noon any second here. I'm so glad to have this one going. And actually, I think I like the like I was saying before the chime went off, I actually like the new glass in here. The old glass had kind of a silver image in it. This one's got kind of a gold image, and I think it goes better with the color of the clock. It's actually really beautiful. So happy to have that back. But then we got our cuckoo clock over here, and let's see, I'm gonna try and scooch my way into this corner here. See the little beer steins there with the guys that keep slamming their mugs on the table. And a little water wheel there in the background. So yeah, those are kind of fun. So those are new parts to my collection that I'm happy to say are working very, very well right now. Both those clocks did exactly what they were supposed to do when they were supposed to do it. So I don't know, like I said, it was just kind of dumb luck that we made that the cuckoo clock just started working again. Because I didn't do anything with it except just turn it on last week. Let's see, get myself all plugged back in here. Okay, let's see what I missed here. Yeah, I think my mom would be pleased that both of those clocks are running, because I know especially she was distressed about the grandfather clock because she had pulled it over on her when she was trying to wind it once, and I don't know if she knew what the status was of great grandmother's clock, but and of course it was damaged, the glass was broken and stuff like that, and that happened I think after she passed, because I think the glass on the clock was broken when my sister and her family transported the clock from my mom's apartment to their house. But yeah, one of the first things I did, when I got that clock running, is sent my sister a picture of it and says, "Yeah, this is running again." Yeah, they're supposed to be like beer mugs, because you look at them, they're little guys and they're slamming their beer mugs, and of course it's a German clock, so it totally makes sense. Yeah, I think they're all really beautiful clocks. In fact, I kind of wish with my dad's cuckoo clock, when I showed it to you a minute ago, that I lit it better, because you couldn't see a lot of the stuff on the top. You couldn't see the little bird come out and go cuckoo because it was in the shadows, and the dancers, you could kind of a little bit see, but I am proud of all of them. They're all beautiful. I'm happy they're in my collection. I didn't watch the Oscars. Any new rocks? No, but I am thinking about going out and visiting today. They're having a St. Patrick Day sale, so I guess they're doing sales on everything that's green. So I don't know. There's one thing I've been looking for or looking at that they've had in the store that I really think I want to get. It's something I've had for or that they've had for a while on collection. It's a really big, beautiful piece, and I actually snapped a picture of it. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. This piece. Yeah, that's that piece there. It's just a big, giant quartz crystal. I can't even really give you a good angle on it, but it's massive. If I add this to my collection, it'll be the biggest piece I have because it's probably about the size of a bowling ball, maybe larger. And they've had it in the store for a while. She showed it to me a few weeks ago when I was there. Well, probably 2, 3 visits back before they even had it out in front. And now they have it on its own table with a display case and the whole thing. And she's told me she almost doesn't want to get rid of it, the but she says, she knows I'm a major collector, and if it was to go somebody, she'd be happy that it went to me. So I think she's even willing to give me a special price on it. But that piece, that's also going to be the most expensive piece I ever bought. That's going to be more than $500, but it is a nice piece. It's a conversation piece, definitely. Yeah, yeah, sort of a Fortress of Solitude feel to it. You're right. I've given you my address before. It's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Send it to Brandon. No, my folks didn't really collect clocks. In fact, if you told me that my dad wanted to buy a cuckoo clock at that time, I would have said, "You're on drugs." I can't imagine him doing that. But I guess my parents decided when they went to Germany one time that they could each get something special to bring home, and that was what my dad got was that cuckoo clock, and that hung in his office from that point on until basically they moved out of the until my parents moved out of their house, and then it basically sat in my mom's garage in her apartment in Folsom until I picked it up a couple years ago, and that was when I drove there and back, and I brought it home with me, and it's been in my collection now for a few years. And then the other clocks, they were inherited. Basically, the grandfather clock was something that was a gift from my grandfather to my parents, and the great grandmother's clock is just something that got passed down through the family through the years. I'm very, very happy that I have all of them. I'm very, very happy that they're all working. You tried that address and the FBI came by. You try it again. I mean, I hear the FBI loves persistence. Yeah, but that's not going to happen, Suzanne. Well, during that same trip, let's see. My parents also got me those. Let's see, I gotta get got me those beer steins. You've seen those before. Three of those are authentic German beer steins, and the fourth one is actually from Sweden, I think. And my parents brought those back to me, and I've shown them on live streams before. And if you remember that time, Jordan and I went to Oktoberfest in Huntington Beach on one of his vlogs. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. We each brought one of those steins with us to have beer in. Well, I have ideas in mind about what I'm going to do for lighting for the rock collection. In fact, just a week or two ago, I bought some UV LED light, strip light things that supposedly should do very, very well in terms of the UV reactive lights. It's down there in the 400 nanometer range, which is what you want for a good UV light. So I'm hoping that those will make that if I install some black light panels underneath the shelf that I want to build, or the display case I want to build, that they'll do a good job for that. I bought two of them. I'm going to test it out. We're going to see if it works, and if they work, I'll get some more. Thanks for stopping in, Black. It was good talking to you. Oh, okay, this is our bad joke day here. We had who was it? Logan with the uh, what was it? Guess what? Chicken butt. And now we got Darth Saber with Tinkerbell's older brother is Taco Bell. And then of course there's the patriotic brother called Liberty Bell. Yeah, I know. I'm here all week, people. We should all do that, Gene. Watch out for the men in black. I hear one of them has a real temper, tends to go and slap people. Hey, dad jokes are fun. Okay, now they're flying. Why do you never iron your four-leaf clover? Because you should never press your lock. Bottom bump. See, I need like a rim shot sound effect. Like anything, I bought this at the Johnson's Space Center gift shop, and I got a couple magnets. You want to see them? It's funny, I don't even hear you respond, and I'm just going to go show you anyway. Hang on. Recently, I decided the way I'm going to remember some of the trips I've taken is that I was going to go buy a refrigerator magnet for things that I found. And I found actually a couple of them I really like. I got that one. I thought that was really cool. That one's actually made of metal, so looks kind of cool with a space shuttle and the flag and NASA on it. So I got that one, and I got this one. This one's got kind of a cool foil effect on it. So I thought that was really kind of pretty. And that one's another one of those foil ones that's got an image of the moon landing. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then this one's just more plain here, but still kind of cool. Rockets launching. I think those are probably, I don't know, what kind of rockets are they? There's a lot of SpaceX stuff there now because, NASA's doing all the, NASA isn't really launching rockets anymore. It's more, SpaceX. In fact, I'm looking at the label on the back of this right now. It does actually say space launch distance. So I guess that is a SpaceX rocket, which makes sense. That was, like I said, there was SpaceX stuff there. I would probably show it to you anyway, Rhonda. I mean, let's face it. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can hit the off button. It's not just operational; it's fully armed and operational. Yeah, that's right. That was a Star Trek or Star Wars reference, not Star Trek, Star Wars. I have no problem with people getting rich if they're doing something great. Yeah, yeah, they were all kind of pricey because see that one's like $8 too. But you know what? That's how it works. Yeah, they're all $8. Yeah, that must be just a thing. That's the default price for magnets, I guess. So yeah, that's $24 for the magnets right there. Now $32 for the magnets. I can't even do my math today. But 8 times 4 is 32. Yes, it is. That was the Death Star. You definitely, if you have any interest in the Johnson, in the space program, you got to visit Johnson Space Center. It was amazing. I'm really glad to go. I've wanted to go there for a long time, and it was worth it. I'd love to go vlog Kennedy. Also, you're right. I've been there once, but that was decades ago. Will it be a while before my next trip? I don't know. The fact that I think in terms of me just getting it on the road and driving somewhere, I think that trip to California a couple years ago really kind of changed things for me because it made me realize, what, there's a lot of great things that are just within driving distance. Texas is a big state and there's a lot of things to see, and I can get basically anywhere in Texas in a day. And so I take one of my long weekends, the first day I drive to get wherever I'm going, I get 2 days to be there and then one day to drive back. I think it just opened the possibility of that happening more. I do want to go see the Alamo. That is such an. I need to read up on that though. So I know more about the story. Oh, you can hear the ticking of the clocks. There's like three of them going on right now. I don't know. I was kind of in a hurry to get home from Houston, so I could have spent another day or so there. I actually wanted to go look for some antique shops or see if there were any rock and mineral shops or anything like that, that I could find something, because I'm still kind of obsessed with finding that uranium glass, and I have some kind of fun stuff. Didn't do any tours at Johnson Space Center. It was basically, the museum was just something you kind of wander around, look at yourself, and then when they take you over to the rocket park, all they do is transport you there and then let you loose. So yeah, I wouldn't want to kind of base a historical thing like the Alamo based on what movies are, though, because movies, they change things around and you know make things more dramatic and stuff like that. I want to go to actual sources so that I know what I'm talking about, or at least sound like I do. It turns out every antique store that I've gone into, and I got to admit, it's not a lot, but I've been in three of them. Every one of them has had something I found. And in fact, in some cases, I found things I don't know that they knew that they had, because I'm going in there with that UV light that I have, and kind of shining it at anything that looks like it might be it. Now, the last place that I went, they had those really cool cocktail glasses. I think I showed you those last time. Uh, they had one kind of shelf that had a whole bunch of uranium glass on it. But then, like I said, I was just kind of wandering through the store, shining my light at everything else, and found something else there that I don't know if they even knew they had. Yeah, see, it was probably way before that when I went to Kennedy. Although maybe it might have been about that time, 1999. Yeah, I suppose it might have been that time. It was. I went because I was doing a. It was when I worked at DMI. That was the first compact disc company. Um, and I was doing a lot of trade shows at the end, and one of them was in Orlando. And so a friend of mine and I decided we were going to go. While we were there, we were going to go to Disney World, and we were going to go to the Space Center. And so yeah, it was probably, I don't know, maybe even a little later than '99. It might have been early 2000s. I keep buying rocks. I'll have to open up my own store. I don't know about that, but it might be, it might be open up my own museum. Oh, come on! Don't ruin my hopes and dreams, Brad. I absolutely want to see the basement. Then again, everything here is radioactive. Yeah, well, that's true. Does it glow green when you shine a ultraviolet light on it? My understanding, the uranium glass was made because people just liked the look of it. It had that kind of natural green color, and I don't think even at the time they realized how cool it was under a black light. Right now, I have the flashlight, but I bought a couple of like 12-inch long LED strips that have ultraviolet light in the the 400 nanometer range, which is what you want for a good UV light. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Darth. I was wondering when you said that, Rhonda, does your ground glow green? Your water is neon yellow. Yuck, that's even worse. They still make it today, though, Gene. There's still people that make it. In fact, the only time I think when I was reading about it, the only time I heard that they weren't making it was during World War II because uranium was needed elsewhere. Ugh. I know I've shown you this stuff before, but I don't know. That's uranium glass, and it has that kind of pretty green color that comes from the uranium, and that was really the what people were looking at when they were buying this stuff. Back in the 1800s and early 1900s, was this beautiful color green, and they didn't even realize what it did with a black light until much later, I think. But look at that. That's cool, isn't it? The camera isn't even doing a good job. It's just kind of washing out. So I think that's really cool. And I've shown you these before. I got 4 of these. And they got kind of a pretty green color too, but look what they do under the, same thing. Not as intense. I think basically the more it glows, the more uranium there is in it. And so this is actually very, very thick glass. And so, I don't think there's a lot of it in there because it doesn't glow as much. And of course, I've shown you the candle holder, and that's kind of got a cool, both kind of a cool antique look to it and kind of the pretty color, but it just does really amazing things under the black light too. In fact, it's funny, I went specifically looking for this online because I wasn't sure if anybody did this. I needed to have a good candle for this thing, and I actually found UV reactive candles. So they call them blacklight candles, but so yeah, I have a blacklight candle in my uranium glass candle holder. I thought that'd be really cool. Like I said, I'd never seen anybody do that, and so I wanted to, I started thinking, well, I got a blacklight candle holder. I wonder if they got blacklight candles. And I actually went on Amazon and Googled it, and they do, and they got different colors. They got green and red and blue, and so I got a bunch of green ones because I thought it would go well with the candle holder. I've looked at the glass insulators. They are not usually made of uranium glass, and they don't glow. A lot of antique places have those too. I guess there's a lot of people that really are into those. they're kind of cool, but I mean, it's not something nothing I've really been into. Now, like I said, I've looked at them to see if they have UV reactive elements in there, but the ones I've seen haven't. Now, maybe they do have uranium glass insulators. No, I haven't been to Smithsonian. Someday. Did Jean say she was leaving? Sorry, I missed that. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, missed that. Sometimes I start talking and I'm staring at myself on the screen rather than looking at what people are saying here. Yeah, I think well, I mean, I'd heard of uranium glass before, and I think I saw a documentary on it at one point too. There, see, that's one of the things I love about this channel here is I learn as much as you do here. Susan here has given us some history of uranium glass. I didn't know they had glow in the dark nail polish, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and that's sort of where we are here, Susan, because you're talking about from kind of a pale yellow to a bright green color, and yeah, this kind of runs the gamut right there. Hey, VNA. Yeah, I've seen some of those neon fish too. Those are pretty cool. Oh, I don't know if there's enough in there to build my own nuclear bomb. First off, one of the things they say is, it's not really dangerous to handle it because the level of radiation in here is actually so low. It's actually below background radiation, but they do recommend that you don't eat off of it or drink out of it. So I won't be doing that. I'll probably keep the glass collection with the rocks, and then I'll probably have one little section there where I'll put the uranium glass, and then we'll put some of those LED UV LED strips that I'm thinking about. That I bought a couple of them. I don't have them yet, but buy yourself an insulation suit just in case. Yeah, I don't think that it's not that serious. Glow in the dark lipstick. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Am I glowing? Does that mean are you saying I'm radioactive? I don't know. I don't feel radioactive. God, it's funny. I can feel the heat from that. Don't want to shine it at my face either. UV radiation is what gives you sunburn. I've heard some of those man o' war jellyfish stings hurt. Yikes. Yeah, that Icelandic volcano has been erupting for I don't know 6 or 8 months now. Never watched Earth Girls Are Easy. I heard the jellyfish are very, very hard to keep alive in captivity. You got to have just the right motion. There's got to be no sharp corners or stuff like that. You know, and I'll tell you, if I were to get some aquatic pet, it would probably be an octopus. But there's problems with that too because octopus, octopi, I guess is what the plural is, are very, very smart, and if you know they'll get out if you allow them. Yeah, I've seen a few um, jellyfish exhibits too. I went to the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California once. In fact, sometime I'm going. If I ever go back to California again, I had a vlog that because that was pretty amazing. Yeah, I think I've seen that too, Yvonne. I actually saw an octopus open a jar from the inside. He was inside the jar and he managed to get a hold of it and untwist the thing and get out. They are amazing creatures. And look who's here. No, I've never seen that, Susan. That's funny. Got sharks and octopus in the same tanks, and the octopus reading the sharks. I don't know. Is it fiction, Susan? Because I don't read a lot of fiction right now. Are they going to tear down Dealey Plaza? Not that I've heard of. Hello, MJ. It's nonfiction, huh? Okay. Yeah, those ambush attacks, those are usually pretty effective. Best sci-tech book in 19 or 2015, huh? Interesting. I'll have to go look into that. I've handled live dolphins before, but only in captivity. Never seen one in the wild, or never interacted with one in the wild. Yeah, the replacement glass does look really cool. I actually, I'm disappointed we couldn't get the exact piece, but I think the kind of gold color of the uh, the etching on the glass actually looks better with the clock. That'd be kind of fun to pet a killer whale. Although I think the appropriate term is orca now, because actually a lot of people don't know this, but killer whales or orcas are actually in the dolphin family. I was reading something about just this past week about how they'd pulled a whale that beached itself back out into the ocean, and the sharks all devoured it. You know what that means? About 15 minutes to go. I'm wondering if it was the same whale, Susan. I don't know. I think I have some fish thawing. I got to do better job marking the meat that I get though. Sometimes I wrap it in foil and it's like, okay, I got something wrapped in foil. I wonder what it is. I think it's some trout though. We'll put that on the grill. But bum. I've been to Catalina Island. You resemble that remark. I haven't been to Catalina in a long time, but are there cats in Catalina? Maybe. I'm sure there are a few. I remember going over there like when I was in the Boy Scouts. That was a lot of fun. We camped out over there. I think that was the first time I saw an artificial satellite. I remember looking up at the sky and seeing something move across the sky. I said, "That's got to be some sort of satellite." Ugh. Are you, buddy? Nibble is fine. She's just being her typical shy self today. She's back in her room. It was funny when we were getting ready to go to bed last night. She was actually kind of affectionate and let me pet her a little bit, and actually acted like she enjoyed it a little bit. Ugh. I've never had the problem because I keep my car in the garage. I've never heard of anyone having problems with birds in their engine blocked up. I've heard of people having cats in their engine. You know, the cats that get in there and it's warm at night or something like that. Yeah, plastic owls might work. Yeah, I can't even really watch TV anymore. Not that I really want to, but it's just yeah, I don't have TV anymore. So while you're streamed, oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm not very adventuresome right now in terms of watching TV or any kind of a serial series kind of thing. I mean, I don't even watch my own channel. Yeah, I heard a lot of people say they really liked Yellowstone. Never even given it a try. It's like the overcast is burning off a little bit. They said we might get some sun late in the day. You need more kamikaze squirrels? You mean them going after the bird feeder? They have not worked their way through my double baffle issue. So that seems to have solved that problem. Apparently, I think I can successfully admit now that I am smarter than a squirrel. Sweater for an octopus, huh? What do I do for fun? Um, well, I mean, you watch the channel, you have a pretty good idea on that. Yeah, I love doing housework or yard work and stuff like that. Decorating my house. I do some woodworking. I like visiting and seeing things. I make vlogs. You give Kevin Costner a good home. There you go. He's dating Jewel. I didn't know that. No changes yet on the pool situation. The pool is still empty, although we got a little rain last night, so there's a little water in it and a lot of leaves. But have not made a decision yet. I may go forward into the summer and see um, how I feel about not having a pool for summer. Maybe we'll make a decision next year, one way or the other. How many rocks would a new pool cost? Well, I don't know. Probably looking at about 3 grand total. So depends on the quality of the rocks. One rock I'm thinking about maybe buying today might be 1/6 of that. She's been kind of laying low a little bit lately because of the weather. It rained a little bit last night, and but she's been out and about. We'll see if we see her this weekend. It's supposed to warm up a little bit, so we'll see. She does her thing, and I think one of the things that kind of controls whether she comes out not only is the temperature, but what's the food source. It's because I mean the grass here turns kind of brown in the winter. I don't know if I'm going to vlog anything today or not. I got a couple things I got to deal with, but I do want to start thinking about getting the garden in, and so that's probably going to happen in the next couple days. And I think I've decided, sort of based on suggestions from here, that the one garden is going to have the tomatoes, and we're hopefully going to get a ton of tomatoes this year. And I think I'm going to do strawberries in the other one. So I don't know if we're going to do any chili peppers this year. French toast with cinnamon, that does sound good. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way with a pool. I could see advantages and disadvantages of going both ways. I do kind of like having the pool, but the truth is, it was more of a novelty. I think the first year I was here, than and it kind of, you know, dropped off a little bit, for subsequent years. I did use it, but there were a lot of times where I'd go a whole week without getting into it. No, I haven't really updated my wish list. I don't know. I guess I'm sort of in the same situation with me that I used to be in with my dad. When it came to birthday and Christmas presents, he was so hard to shop for because generally, if he wanted or needed something, he went out and got it. And so, if there was something he wanted, unless you caught it in that one little microsecond between when he decided he wanted it and went out and got it, you were out of luck on that. And I'm kind of the same way. Usually if there's something that I really think I need, I just go out and get it. So I don't know. Although Susan Flanagan did suggest an ice cream maker, and I put that on the list, and then she took care of that. So I guess I'm open to suggestions. If there's something that you think that I'd like, I can make suggestions, and we'll see what happens. If it's something I said, yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I'm sure there's a great number of someone's who have a birthday coming up in a month or two. I mean, probably 1/6 of the world's population have a birthday in the next 2 months. Flash is a herbivore, so she likes lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. Basically, I don't think she's like into things like pineapple or anything that it's too citrusy. But she loves strawberries. Just about any kind of vegetable. So if I you know cook a cauliflower or broccoli or something like that, she'll get a little of that, and she loves that. Actually, there is a new telescope that sort of popped up on my radar. It's something I saw that Celestron has just released that I think would be very, very cool. I'm taking a serious look at to see what happens there. So that might be kind of fun at some point. Basically, Celestron has a new telescope that doesn't have an eyepiece. It's entirely digital and it's completely automatic. It's pretty small and portable. Basically, you put it on the ground, it figures out where it is, and then it will, you tell it, aim at this, and it will aim at that, and it will capture high resolution digital images that, you can do extended, exposure to make dim things look really bright. And apparently, it does some very, very cool stuff. So I'm kind of looking at that. In fact, here, let me see if I can find you a picture of it here, because I can do that now. I can pull in stuff. This thing. Okay, let's show you what I got here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is the thing I've been looking at. This is the Celestron Origin Intelligent Home Observatory. Basically, that's the telescope right there, and it connects up to your cell phone or your tablet, and you can program it to look at something in the sky, and then it'll follow the object in the sky, and take very, very, very cool pictures. So I've been looking at this. This popped up on my radar, I don't know, a week or two ago, and I've been kind of watching this. Apparently, this thing isn't even available yet. It hasn't been released yet, and so if you order one, you have to kind of get on a waiting list and get the thing. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking at right now. And I don't know, might not get the first generation. Might wait a generation or two and see if there's new cool things that come with it. But I think that would be kind of cool. See, they got those are some of the pictures that I guess people have shot with this telescope. Like I said, it's brand new, so. But yeah, that's what the thing looks like. Like I said, it has no eyepiece. It's all digital. And so, basically it's just got a very high resolution image scanner in the back. And that's what you do. Yeah, supposedly I can do a certain level because it supposedly connects up to your cell phone or tablet. Right now, it doesn't seem to have the ability to connect up to a laptop. And see, that would be very cool if it could do that. Um, I suspect it connects up to the cell phone via Bluetooth, but I don't know how well Bluetooth would be for transmitting high resolution video. I don't know if it's got enough bandwidth for that, but it would give you the ability to transfer the image from this telescope to like a cell phone or a tablet, and that would be really, really neat. So that's what I'm looking at. That's uh, that would be very cool. Yeah, I mean, I might be able to deduct it if I did vlogs on it, then yeah, I could probably deduct the whole thing. That's a good point. I don't know, something I'm thinking about. Like I said, the thing isn't even available yet. Hasn't been released. Everybody's just accepting pre-orders right now. But you saw the price too. That thing ain't cheap. That's about $4,000. Yeah, yeah. I definitely have to do my research. Gonna have to spend some time. Maybe go look at one. Find somebody that has one that I can look at. It would be a very expensive toy, but it's going to be roughly the same amount of money to replace the pool. And the truth is, I got a pretty nice bonus at work um, recently that would cover most of that. I used to do that at work too. Somebody would have a Bluetooth speaker, and when they disconnected to it, I would connect to it without them knowing, and all of a sudden they come back and be playing music that they didn't know, and they don't know how to stop it. That was funny. Yeah, pretty much, Susan. Same number of rocks. What would Fred Flintstone say? Probably yabba dabba doo. Yeah, I mean, it is a price that I would be willing to pay, Gene. Especially if it's as cool as it's being advertised as. Anyway, I think I put in my couple hours today. I really want to get out to the rock shop and see if they have anything cool there, and maybe pick up that piece that I showed you, or that they've had for a few weeks if somebody else hasn't snatched it up. I get the feeling probably not. I'm guessing that there aren't, because I see a lot of times that the big expensive things there are there week after week after week. So I'm guessing a lot of people just get the little stuff. So, like I said, I may very well walk away with that thing. It's about the size of a basketball, and it's pretty impressive looking. So I think I want to kind of pull the plug on this. I can go out and see what's going on out there. So I think we'll end this one now. Thanks everyone for watching. I had a good time today, and I'll see you next week. Good night.